Xaden Riorson, the man that you are. I loved this so much more the second time around.
They say I'm young, they say I'm dumb, but what they don't know, it's where I've been and who I am, all the ways I've grown. Blood in the sweat, tears of regret, made me hard as stone.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Brittany and you should definitely subscribe. I'm so excited for today because it is officially time to start our reread of Fourth Wing and Iron Flame to prepare us for Onyx Storm. I am very excited about this. I don't remember like much, believe it or not, about what happens, and the funniest part is I literally read these at the beginning of 2024. Like, I remember all the main points, but I don't remember all of like the small stuff that I see sometimes. I'm very excited to dive back into this world and Xaden and Violet, and I am very excited to kind of like pick up on things that I never noticed the first time I read these. And I'm gonna be doing more annotations. So obviously the second one I annotated a lot more than the first one. So I'm definitely gonna be annotating these and kind of trying to pick up more cues and theories, Easter eggs, and all of that stuff. Because after seeing a bunch of like TikToks, people are noticing things and having all of these theories that I'm like, how did you guys come up with that? Like, what the heck? So I'm hoping that I can kind of like pick up on those things when I'm reading it a second time around. What? I also 100% want to do the dramatized audiobook while I'm reading it and annotating it because I've heard such good things about it. So I want to try it out and see how I feel about it. So I'm going to be listening to that while I am like reading the book also and annotating like along with it. I do want to give a quick little like disclaimer that I'm like 99% sure like there's most likely going to be spoilers in this video because I am going to be reading it, talking about it, going over kind of maybe like any theories I have or things that I missed the first time. So if you have not read Fourth Wing or Iron Flame, this is your warning now that if you proceed with watching this video, there will be spoilers. I'm going to be talking about things that are happening in this book. So again, this is your final warning to click out of this video and you can go watch another video of mine. We are just going to jump right in with Fourth Wing. I'm very excited for the third one to come out. That is going to honestly make or break if I continue this series because depending on the direction it goes in, I don't know if I can handle continuing it if it goes in certain directions. I don't know. And also with Iron Flame, I loved it, but there was so much filler that it took me so long to read. But once we got, like, the beginning was really good, and then, like, the last, like, 30% or something, if I remember correctly, was really good, too. It was just the entire middle. So I'm hoping that I'm, like, doing a reread that I'm going to feel differently about it. I just found one of my annotations. I'm dying. That's hilarious. But we're going to go ahead and get started with Fourth Wing.
Movie in your mind.
I'm only on page 7 and I feel like there's already like this Easter egg. They're talking about the book that her dad gave her that is all the folklore about the venom and everything. And she's like, oh, they're just like myths and stories, you know what I mean? I hate when people are like, you own all those books, I bet you don't even read them again. Actually, I love rereading a book. I love rewatching movies. Like, it's so much better rereading books and rewatching movies and everything the second time around when you already know how things go and how things happen, because then you can look for all of the other clues. Like, it's just so fun. feel like everyone always like talks shit about Violet, and like when I first read this book I was like giggling and making fun of her too because she's always like nauseous and anxious and fragile, but it's like, okay, if I got thrown into something like that and I had to cross like this balance beam during a storm in the wind, I would be nauseous as hell. I get nauseous going to a new place for the first time or parking at an event. I'll go home if the parking stresses me out. So I feel like we should cut her some slack because I know if I was thrown in that situation, I would not handle this the way that she was. So, like, I don't know. My friend and I literally laughed every single time it talked about how she was, like, nauseous or, like, somehow something got dislocated in her body. But, like, now that I'm rereading it, I'm like, okay, well, this girl's trained to be a scribe her whole life. Like, obviously she wasn't lifting weights or, like, doing anything to build muscle because she didn't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's kind of funny now that I'm rereading it because I'm like, girl, I would be violently throwing up every day. He's the most exquisite man I've ever seen. Girl, me too. Yeah. So I've seen so many theories about this first meeting with Xaden and Violet and how obviously he can read intentions and everything. So like that's why he was trying to rush Violet, like hurry up and go type thing, because he could probably sense Jack's emotions of like how he was gonna try to like push her off. You know what I mean? And also, it's kind of funny that he could, like, read her intentions this whole time because he's the most exquisite man I've ever seen. Girl, he's probably blushing in the back of his head, like, kicking his little feet and everything in his mind. I'm, like, so excited to be reading this again. I forgot, like, how much I loved it, but now that I'm like rereading it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot how fun this is. And like the first one is just such a vibe. I'm definitely gonna be back in like my dragon phase, I feel like, and wanting to read like all my dragon books that I have had like just kind of sitting on my shelf. So I love Rhiannon. I love her so much. I love her. Oh my god, what are their names? Sawyer, Ridoc. I don't know how to say his name. I've never listened to the audiobook before, but when I get to that point, I'll know how to say it. I don't know. I love them. I'm just like picturing all of them going out to the bar together, and then Xaden's just like brooding in the corner like, I want to go home. Like, throwing me off a little because the audiobook, like some of the dialogue is in different spots. It like moves up some of the dialogue and then everything else is like after, and I'm like, wait, where are we? Riddick. His name's Riddick. I don't think I said that at all. I think I said literally everything except that, but it's Riddick. So I saw another theory, and all of these theories are just like things I've seen on TikTok and stuff. I feel like I can't like come up with my own theories, or if I like do, they're already ones that have been like said. So, but I saw this theory where someone was saying that the scene where she's hiding, like while they're all meeting, and Xaden like knows that she's there, it's because of him being able to like read intentions and stuff. So I think that he can like sense her that way. There's really no point to these theories besides me just like telling you them because I thought that they were interesting, and hopefully you guys think that they're interesting too. Alright, I'm gonna end for the night. I got a little past 100 pages. I'm on chapter 10, page 115. I will pick this back up tomorrow and continue. It's just kind of late in the evening and I work tomorrow, so I have to start getting ready for bed and everything. I loved this the first time around, but I'm enjoying it so much more the second time. Alright, I'll check back in with you guys tomorrow. Still think there's some sort of like foreshadowing here where they're talking about the wyvern and the venom and about her dad, how she thought that her eyes were red or whatever, and how she can channel. I feel like there's got to be something there, like some sort of Easter egg. If I was Violet, I would feel like such a bad bitch, because like imagine everyone thinks you are so weak and trying to kill you and this and that, and then you bond 2 dragons, not 1, 2, and 2 like powerful dragons too. Like I just forgot how this book has me in like a chokehold. And I am a little nervous for Iron Flame, because I remember the first half of Iron Flame is just more like, I guess like world building type stuff and like classes, and like the first half kind of, I feel like there wasn't anything super crucial to the plot. That's a lie. The whole thing is like crucial to the plot, but like nothing. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I do remember like the last half of Iron Flame being really, really good. I also just don't like Cat, so maybe that has something to do with it. Also, I forgot how funny and sarcastic Taryn is. Like obviously I remember like laughing and stuff, but like actually the things that he says, I forget how funny they are. Oh my god. I have such a crush on Taryn. He's like definitely a hear me out, because I understand that he's a dragon, but like hear me out, you know, like just hear me out. The girls that get it, okay? I'm so excited for Onyx Storm. Like my obsession is coming back. Like, I don't know why I completely forgot about my 4th wing obsession. I can't remember if I've mentioned this already. I probably have. I've probably mentioned it like 40 times and forgot. But so many things make sense now after you learn xaden's 2nd signet with the like intentions and everything. Because like, for example, this part when she's talking about like how she wants him and everything, and then he like looks at her, because he can probably like all the times that she's like thinking about how she wants him, he can feel. It's just so funny to me. I completely forgot about this whole like moment with the war games where Dane, like I remembered him like being, you know, a terrible person and all of that stuff, but I completely forgot how all of this went down and how they would like they just thought they were participating in like the war games and everything, and oh my god, I'm not ready for what's to come. Oh my gosh. Even though I knew it was coming, the moment that like they realized like Dane read her mind or whatever, I gasped. Like literally, like the first time I read it, jaw was on the floor, and now that I'm rereading it, same reaction. Like I knew it was coming, but I'm still like, oh, that's so crazy.
You saved my life, and now it's my turn. No matter what you think of me for keeping secrets, we're friends, Violet.
Response isn't. I'll get you mixing with my own until it hurts to breathe. Thank you, Liam. Thank you for being my shadow. Thank you for being my friend.
It's been my honor.
A gust of wind blows
That's
the loose
so
strands of my
sad.
back from-
Alright, you guys, I am done with my reread of Fourth Wing. I'm sorry if my hair looks a little disheveled. I washed it and it's still wet for some reason, so I couldn't like style it, but I wanted to get this video filmed so I can get started with Iron Flame because it's already the 8th of January. I actually finished this like 2 or 3 days ago, but I ended up like getting food poisoning and then needing the next day to recuperate, and I just, it's been a week. So we're gonna go ahead and discuss this now. I'm gonna give like a short but full recap for anyone who doesn't want to reread this, but wants to kind of remember all the key details. But I also don't want this video to be like an hour long, so I'm gonna make it like short, but I'm gonna cover like all the main points, I think. My battery's gonna die, of course, so give me 1 second. For some reason, if you haven't read Fourth Wing and you've stuck around for this long and you thought, oh, there really wasn't that many spoilers in this video or something, now is probably your time to leave or skip ahead, because I am actually giving away some main things that happen in this book for this recap, including how it ends and a character death. So we do have Violet Sorrengail. She's our female main character. She is thrown into the Writer's Quadrant by her mother after training to be a scribe her whole life, because Sorrengails are all writers, you know. Her mother is the general. She obviously survives and she ends up bonding 2 dragons. Taryn, who's a powerful, massive like black dragon, and then Andarna, who is a young golden dragon. I love them both. We learn more about Andarna in book 2. Violet grows closer to the wing leader, Xaden Riorson, who in the beginning you kind of think that he wants her dead and everything because his father was killed by Violet's mother. But he has to protect Violet because the dragon that she bonded is actually the mate with his dragon, and they believe that like if something happens to her, it'll kill Taryn, which will then it'll cause like this reaction where they'll just like all die. So he pretty much has to protect her. He sticks Liam on her as kind of like a bodyguard, and he's always got somebody that he trusts like around her. So Imogen is like training her and everything. But further on into the book, Violet learns that Xaden and the other marked ones are kind of like secretly working against Navarre and with griffins and their flyers and everything. And at first she sees it as like this ultimate betrayal until she kind of starts to learn that they're like not actually in the wrong, and she kind of like realizes the entire kingdom has been lying to everyone while also hiding the existence of venin and wyverns, which up until like the last 30-40% of the book you think that they're folklore because of how many times it's mentioned that it's like bedtime stories and everything, and then come to find out it's real, and she realizes that her mom and everything have been lying to her this whole time about these. We also have Dane, who is a piece of crap, and he betrays her. He reads her memories without her permission and everything, and kind of like snitches them out to his father, and they all get set up. So it pretty much kind of ends with this battle where Violet is working alongside Xaden and the marked ones and all of the dragons and the griffins and the flyers. And there's wyvern and there's venin, and unfortunately Liam's dragon does get killed in this process, which then makes Liam die, which is so sad because he's like perfectly healthy and everything, but because his bonded dragon died, he dies. So heartbreaking. I can't. I don't know why, but like that's one of those character deaths that like just really broke my heart. And I don't know, like the first time I read it, I cried about it for days, and then like even the second time, like I knew it was coming and it still hurt. And I don't know why. I guess just because like Liam just seemed so like kind and like innocent and just so sweet, and he just like didn't deserve it. It's not like something happened to him, you know what I mean? Like it just felt like very unfair, but you know, Rebecca likes to do that to us. But the book does end on this massive plot twist where, oh my gosh, I still like, I knew it was coming, but it was still such like an exciting moment, I guess. So she wakes up and everything, and she finds out that she's been mended. And there's only like so many menders, and one of the best ones was her brother Brennan. So the book pretty much like ends with Xaden telling her you weren't healed, you were mended, and then Brennan, who she believes is dead, is all of a sudden in the room and tells her, "Welcome to the revolution." And that's how it ends. So he's alive, and he's pretty much, I believe, alongside Xaden, the one like leading the rebellion. I don't 100% remember. Obviously, I have to reread Iron Flame to kind of get all of those little details. But yeah, it's funny because, like I said, I literally read these at this point only a year ago, and I forgot so much of the plot. I feel like somehow Violet is kind of like tied to Venom, whether she has a little bit in her or with like her father or I don't know, but there's got to be some sort of tie because it mentions her silver hair so many times that has to be like a key aspect to something. The fact that Taryn calls her Silver One, and the fact that her dad was so like adamant on her knowing this folklore, and I don't know, like there's got to be something there. And there's just also things that happen in Iron Flame that kind of has you like thinking like but yeah, there's so many like things that I'm wondering. There were so many like little Easter eggs in this one. I'm really excited to actually get back into the second one, so I'm gonna try to start that one tonight. If not today, then tomorrow. But yeah, I'm excited, so I will check back in once we do start Iron Flame. It is time for Iron Flame. I forgot how much of a brick this book was. I do remember that there's a lot of filler in here, so I'm hoping it's not as painful the second time around. I definitely annotated this one a lot more, so I don't even know if there's much to annotate, but I'm still gonna try. I'm a little nervous because I keep seeing a lot of people's orders getting canceled from like Amazon and stuff, and like I pre-ordered mine when it didn't even have like a title. It just like didn't have a cover, title, none of that, and everyone was like theorizing that it was Onyx Storm, and I was like, I'm gonna pre-order just in case. And I've seen people's orders getting canceled from June, July, August of last year, and I'm like, I'll be so mad if my order gets canceled, because some people who ordered recently, theirs didn't get canceled, and oh my god, I would be so mad. So I keep like obsessively checking it, and I'm trying to contemplate right now if I want to go to Target in the morning, but I don't want it to be like that whole Stanley Cup situation where everybody was like running and fighting each other, and I'm like, I'm not like, yeah, it's cute, but like I'm not doing all of that for a book. I don't know, like as much as I want it, I'm like, it's not really worth like that stress to me. So I don't know. I just hope the one that I ordered, like pre-ordered on Amazon, comes and then I don't have to worry about it. I'm cozy. I figured tonight's the perfect night. We're supposed to be getting snow tonight, like throughout the night, and like tomorrow, and then we're getting like a winter storm, so I don't know what that's going to entail, because like I've said probably 1,000 times on this channel now, like I'm from Florida, so I don't know how like winter works. I'm excited, so I just think it's like the perfect time to start this book. And I'm just gonna stop yapping, and we're gonna go ahead and start reading it. You're kind of ruining my video. Oh.
Graphic audio. A movie in your mind.
Okay. I'm freezing. It's been snowing all day and we took really cute pictures outside and everything, but oh, hi. He's cold too, apparently. You want in. I know you want in the blanket. Come on. No, baby. This isn't gonna work. Okay. This isn't gonna work. He's like, I beg to differ. I've been really bad at reading Iron Flame. I'm not even 100 pages into it. So we're gonna prioritize that because my sister actually needs to borrow this to do her like read and everything before Onyx Storm. And yeah, like I don't want to cut it too close and then she doesn't have like enough time. So I'm gonna prioritize this weekend. And that way I can get this posted a couple days before Onyx Storm. Let's go ahead and continue with Iron Flame. I don't know how, but I completely forgot about Varish until now, and I hate him, obviously. I don't think there's anybody that likes him. If you do, you should probably go to therapy or something. I don't know, that's, you know, that's a little concerning. Anyways, yeah, I hate Varish. I forgot how much I just hate that man. Got a little snack break. Alright, sorry I have not been updating you guys as much as I did when I did Fourth Wing. I honestly have just been like mostly listening to the audiobook while cleaning and stuff because as you can see I already annotated a lot, so 90% of the things that I'm like, oh, I should annotate that, it's already annotated. So I kind of like haven't been paying attention to like the whole annotating part as much. I am on page 306, so we're like halfway. And I'm gonna try to finish it by tomorrow. I don't know how achievable that is. I will say I'm definitely enjoying it more the second time around than I did the first time because all of the like the things that are filler that I thought were like filler in the first read, I'm starting to see kind of more of an importance. Like the first time I read it, half of the time like when they were in class and like just talking about things, I was kind of like, oh my god, like let's get back to the fun stuff. Now when I'm reading it, I'm like, oh, but the things that they're talking about in these moments are actually important, you know what I mean? There was another part, I should have highlighted it, I didn't think about it, but I didn't like catch it the first time where xaden was talking about Varish and how he was gonna like punish her, kill her, something, use this to kill her or something like that. And he told her like, oh yeah, like his intentions are very clear, like I can see his intentions from a mile away, or like he didn't say that word for word, obviously I don't remember what he said, but that's pretty much what he said. And I guess, you know, you're just like, oh yeah, whatever, like he's good at picking up on people's intentions, not knowing that his second signet is obviously intentions, or like reading people's intentions. And I can't remember at what point. That's so funny. I was just about to say I can't remember at what point he tells her, and I just opened up to this random tab. So anyone else wondering, it's page 522. 522. I cannot believe I just literally opened up to that. That is not like I have so many tabs. That's crazy, but that's hilarious. That's so funny. I don't know how I just did that. I'm about to go play the lottery or something. I feel like from this point on, it's about to get really, really good because I think this is when she ends up getting interrogated and stuff, but it's like not part of the whole like school situation. It's like just Varish, you know, being Varish. And I think this is the part where like Liam, she like he kind of like comes to her in like her delusion state. I clearly can't speak today. So she started having the dreams some of them, like none of the like super intense ones yet, but I can't remember if this was like explained at the end of the book or not, or if it's like an open-ended thing where we're like theorizing. I genuinely can't remember. But those dreams that she's having, I remember thinking that like, okay, that's weird. These probably aren't all dreams. No, Lee, baby. No. These aren't all dreams. Like the ones where she's talking to the like Venin like teacher. I think somehow he's like channeling like through her to like communicate or something, or she's like seeing something. Like I don't think they're actually like dreams. I think like she's actually seeing what's happening. But like I said, I can't remember if this is something that is brought up by the end of this book or not. So I love how protective Taryn is. Obviously in the first book he's like protective, but in this book he's like extra protective. And there's like little things that I forgot about, like the part where he threatened like Varish's dragon and made him apologize to Violet, and he's like on your knees. Oh my god, I love Taryn so much. So I'm just gonna continue, and my goal is to try to get it done by tomorrow night or Monday, just because my sister is waiting on the book and I don't want to keep her waiting. I will say the audiobook kind of throws me off some, because at least the dramatized one, it completely like skips some paragraphs. So when I'm like reading along, I'm like, wait, I lost my place, like where are we? And like I know obviously certain things it skips because they like make the noise or like the effect or whatever, but sometimes it's like an actual chunk of paragraph that they just like skip, or they like move them around. Like there'll be dialogue and then a paragraph and then dialogue, and they move all of the dialogue up to like one section. I don't know, it just throws me off. But other than that, like I'm kind of enjoying the audiobook. I completely forgot that they brought Dane in. Oh my god. This Dane. I also totally forgot that Dane like gets a redemption, but like I don't like him regardless still. So you're not redeemed in my eyes. That's all. Oh, Xaden Riorson, the man that you are. Oh my god. Oh my god. Good morning. Hopefully today is a day that we finish Iron Flame. I think I have about like 200 pages left or something. So let me actually see exactly how many. Like 260, but it is possible if I spend all day reading it. It's 10:37 in the morning, so I have the time. Did you see that one theory? I've been seeing it go around a lot lately, that the scribes, Venin are scribes. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can see that. I don't know, there's so many good theories. I think I've kind of like given up on formulating my own because there's so many other ones out there, and I'm just like not good at like coming up with theories like that. Or if I do notice something, it's already like a theory, so it's like I don't think there's anything left for me to come up with because it's already been like came up with. Anyways, I'm gonna stop rambling. Let's go ahead and try to finish Iron Flame today. I am done with Iron Flame. I don't have the physical book because I gave it to my sister to start reading, but I did finish it yesterday. Like I said, I just haven't filmed the update until today. It was just late and I didn't honestly want to like get ready to film a video. I will say I loved this so much more the second time around. I think it hit differently. Everything that I thought was like filler the first time I read it, I noticed now like had more of like purpose. Like when they were doing the classes or just little things where I was like, oh, whatever, this is like unnecessary filler. The second time I read it, I was kind of paying attention more and I was like, oh, but some of the things that they're discussing are like actually things that matter and like come in further on like in the story. I've seen a lot of theories about Niollin and how he's like, a lot of people believe that he's still alive and somehow that he's like the sage or something for the venom. And I thought that theory was really interesting. Somehow he had to have like severed that bond with Taryn, but then at the same time a lot of people think that that's how the sage is able to talk to Violet in her dreams, because it is Naolin and somehow there is still like this lingering bond between all of them. But then I saw another theory that actually talks about Violet's second signet. And I know there's so many theories on her second signet, but this one from Emma Halbrook I saw on TikTok I think makes a lot of sense, and it's my favorite theory so far. And it's that Violet's second signet is some sort of like intrinsic, and that could also be how Naolin... Let me go back to that, but back to the Naolin thing. I also think that that's why Taryn constantly like shuts her down. Every time she's asking about him, Taryn is so quick to like shut her down and is so adamant on like, I don't want to talk about it. And like understandable, like if it was your previous writer and they died or something, like I get not wanting to talk about it, but I also feel like they've developed like this sort of like trust where I just think it's weird that he's like so set on not talking about it at all, like not even giving her anything, not mentioning anything, does not even want to like briefly discuss it. So I feel like he knows more to the story that there is. And then back to the intrinsic thing, I thought the theory was really good, because if you think about it, they mention intrinsics so much, and I get that it was like foreshadowing for Dane and Xaden, but with how much it's like constantly mentioned, I'm like, there's got to be more to it besides just them. And there's moments, did I even say what the I don't even think I said what the actual theory was. It's that she's an intrinsic and that she can like see through people's like eyes, or like through their perspective. And she gave like the throne room as an example because of something that happened in that scene. And she thought it was Xaden, but it wasn't Xaden, because obviously he can read intention, so he wouldn't have like the capability to do what happened. And what's another thing? I also think that the dream thing could also be related to the fact that if she's an intrinsic, she can see Xaden's dreams, and he's the one that's having the dreams with the venom. That was a mouthful. I hope you guys were following me there. I don't know, I just feel like those are both really good theories, especially like the Naolin one, because it's like in fantasy books, I kind of just assume like if they don't like come out and explicitly say like, oh, this character is dead, I'm looking at their body, I'm burning their body, whatever, I'm like, they're probably not dead. Somehow they're gonna come back or something, you know what I mean? Because it's a fantasy book and that's just how that happens, you know? But those are like two of my favorite theories that I saw. I really like the ones too about somehow Violet having some sort of venom in her, whether it's her mom or her dad, something like that. I think that those are really interesting theories, and there's just so many good ones. If you haven't looked into any of them yet, I definitely recommend them. I'm really excited to see what Onyx Storm has in store for us, but I'm also really, really scared. And I know that the next book we're probably not going to get for like 2 years, because she actually did say that she hasn't even like started thinking about the next book yet, because she put all of her effort into this one, which fair enough. I respect her for that. Yeah, I'm definitely really nervous. Dare I say I kind of want like a jealous Xaden moment. Like, I don't know how like this whole thing is gonna work, like with the whole venom thing and everything for Xaden, but I will say for some reason I truly want like a toxic moment where Xaden is just like extremely jealous of Auric or like Bodhi or literally anyone. I want like a jealous Xaden, just because we had to deal with the whole cat thing. And I'm like, Xaden needs to feel some of that, you know what I mean? And I would love for it to be Auric. I love him, and I think somehow he's going to play an important role in Onyx Storm because of how he was introduced in Iron Flame. Obviously, he's noble, and he's already a very important person, and he joins the Riders Quadrant without his father knowing, because he knows everything that's going on and wants to, like, you know, be involved. And I don't know, I love him. This is me coming a little bit from the future. I just worked out, and as I was working out, I was like, I didn't even do like a full recap like I did for the first one, and there were a couple theories that I completely forgot about, so I'm putting this in here, and then I'll jump back to the other clip at the end where I'm ending this video out. The other two theories that I forgot to talk about, I probably mentioned them at some point in this video, but I'd rather just say them now as well. One, I think Jack Barlow was always somehow part of like the venom and everything, because, well, one, the whole like welcome to my family, welcome to my fucked up family, whatever he said, like he's clearly been there a while. And he's always like had beef obviously with Violet, so that's kind of like makes me question the whole Venom tying to Violet thing. But I do remember in Fourth Wing when he challenges her, she said that his eyes looked like red, like when she just thought it was bloodshot. And I think they mentioned that in Iron Flame as well when she realizes he's Venom. But from that far back, like he's obviously been Venom this whole time, and he's probably been like secretly infiltrating. Like there's been some sort of like secret Venom society going on in Basgiath, which I was kind of mentioning earlier, where I think the scribes tie into that as well. And then I also think Andarna is going to play a huge role in destroying Venom, because she was able to literally kill the Venom with her fire. Like she charred that thing, you know? And up until this point, the only things that we know that can kill Venom is Violet's lightning and the alloy that is in the daggers. I remember Taryn blew out fire and it did nothing to the Venom. So clearly Andarna, her fire can kill the Venom. So somehow she's gonna play a really important role in that. I'm gonna give that full recap. I'm gonna be honest, I'm probably gonna be missing a lot of information because so much happened in this book that like I genuinely can't even think of it all right now to put it into words, and I don't have the book right now to reference. So Iron Flame picks up pretty much right after Fourth Wing, where Violet is like learning more about her brother and the revolution and just like all of this stuff that she had no idea about and like how it all kind of happened. Xaden, Violet, and the other marked ones return back to Basgiath. And that scene was so funny because they're literally reading off the death toll, and then Xaden's like, well, this is awkward when he calls their name. I just thought that part was hilarious. It is now Violet's second year at Basgiath, and she's having to do all of these like super intense challenges, obviously more than the first year. They have to do like survival games, learning dismounts and everything for their dragons, flight training. They have to do like this interrogation training, just a lot more like intense stuff. I mean, I guess the gauntlet, the parapet, and everything's pretty damn intense. The whole interrogation thing, she's stronger than me because that is crazy. Like those moments. But during all of this, we also learn more about Andarna, and she ends up maturing, and her scales turn into like this deep purple. She gets like a scorpion-like tail, and she pretty much is like the equivalent of a sassy teenager. Taryn and Andarna are so funny in this book because they're just like, they bicker and they're both sassy with Violet, and like they're just, I don't know, I love how sassy they both are in this book. We also meet Varish in this book, who is assigned the vice commandant of Basgiath, and I hate him. And he's also the one who's assigned with delivering the missives to Violet and Xaden, allowing them to see each other twice every 14 days, I believe. Yeah, they alternate. Like 1 week he comes to her, the next week she goes to him. Like I said, he's like out to get Violet. He checks her bag every time she leaves, and he just kind of like singles her out. He forces her to wield her lightning like 40 something times, up to the point of like burnout, as punishment for Andarna not showing up for flight training, because Andarna's in this like dreamless sleep because she's growing, and stopping time and everything in the first book really just like messed with her, and yada yada, all of that. So he's just like a terrible person. Taryn flips out and threatens to kill his dragon, therefore kill him, and makes him apologize and everything, but obviously that's not the last of it, because if anything that just kind of pissed him off more. So then they start doing like their trial interrogations, but Varish kind of uses this as an opportunity to dig deeper and try to find out what Violet knows about this rebellion and everything, and obviously he's not getting the answers he wants. So then at one point he just has her there, and I can't remember how long she's there, but he's just like brutally interrogating her and everything. She starts like seeing Liam to help her kind of get through it, and then Dane comes in, and Dane gets his little redemption, I guess. I still don't like him, but fine, at least he did the decent thing for once in his life, and he didn't betray her trust after Varish like tried to manipulate him and be like, oh, you can see what she sees in Xaden, why she doesn't want you can see, you know what I mean, like all this stuff. So he does like read her memories, he like still does it, but he doesn't give the information to Varish. He doesn't kill him, he injures him, and I think Violet kills him. And yeah, long story short, Varish dies. Dane is a good guy again, but like not really, you know, whatever. And then they all kind of go and tell all of the cadets and everything at Basgiath what's going on, and gives them the option like, hey, you can come back with us and fight on the right side of this revolution, or you can stay here. And I guess I kind of skipped ahead a little bit, obviously a lot, because there's a lot of other stuff that does happen, like Xaden and Violet. This whole book pretty much is just miscommunication and trust issues between the two of them for the longest time. He's like not telling her things, but then he's getting mad at her. He's like, well, you're not asking me the right questions. And she's like, I shouldn't have to ask you the right questions. Like, you should just tell me. And that was annoying. I'm not gonna lie. We meet Catriona, Kat, who is Xaden's ex. She's a flyer who bonds with griffins. Who else? We meet Arik, who is like the prince, and he's like there undercover. His dad doesn't know he's there. We love him. I love him, at least. Anyone else interesting that we met? All of this happens. There's a bunch of like little petty things, like Kat and Violet with each other, and her finally deciding to tell her friends. Just like little stuff like that. But I'm just trying to cover the main points because I don't want this to be like super long. Plus, I feel like you guys only really care about the main points because this is everything that's actually important before going into Onyx Storm. So anyways, all of this ends with a big battle at Basgiath. They weren't like equipped because they sent everyone elsewhere because they thought that this was all gonna happen elsewhere, but turns out nope, it's happening here. And they all come. The wyverns there, the venons there, the dragons are there, the cadets are there, like everybody's there. Well, not everybody, but you know what I mean. Lilith, Violet's mom, ends up sacrificing herself because of the ward stone. So she pretty much like convinces Sloane by kind of getting in her head and being like, you hate me, like I did this, I'm the reason for this, like just to kind of like get her to act on it. So Sloane has to drain all of her powers and everything to imbue the ward stone. That way they can get the wards back up at Basgiath. And it ends with Xaden turning venom, I believe, to save Violet's life, and Jack being like, I guess that makes us brothers. And yeah, that is pretty much the gist of it. Hopefully I didn't get any of that wrong. Like I said, so much has happened in this book. So if I like messed up a minuscule detail, like something happening in the wrong place or the name of something, like I'm sorry, don't come for me. But I should have started writing this recap while I was reading it because it would have been so much easier. But instead I just sat here really quick and typed up everything I remembered without a book to reference. So hopefully that's as accurate as I can get it without referencing the book that I don't have right now. So anyways, jumping back forward. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just leave this at that because if I talk about all like the theories and things that I want, we're gonna be here all day. Look up some theories on like TikTok, Reddit, and everything. I will see you guys in like a week, maybe a couple days a week. When Onyx Storm is out, and I will be doing a reading vlog. It won't be on release day, it'll be probably like the weekend or a couple days after, just because I'm not taking off work or anything. I'm not gonna like stress trying to get it all finished in one day and get a video up, because at the end of the day, like I don't want to rush through it. I do want to sit there and still enjoy it. I guess I will just see you guys whenever I post that video. Don't forget to subscribe, follow me on my Instagram here, and TikTok if it's not banned by the time this video comes out, but who knows. So let's just leave it at Instagram for now, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.